Lee Bowman, or how she'd like to be called, Timber Sperry, is a 22-year-old woman born March 28, 2004 from Iowa that has gone insanely viral recently for some pretty unsavory things. You'll find everyone calling her a crazy stalker, comparing her to the protagonist of the Baby Reindeer show on Netflix. And if you haven't already, you'll find out today that the crazy stalker phrasing everyone's been using has been completely warranted. With how concerning and attention-seeking her behavior has been online as of recently, this is far from the first time she's done something like this. In fact, it would seem like as soon as Timber had the ability to post on the internet, she would do so day in and day out on account after account, seeking attention online and starting problems. But taking a look at any one of her many Facebook or Instagram accounts, going back to say 2019, you'll see her posting nearly every single day, at some points tagging up to 62 people, with some of these people expressing their desires to not be tagged by her anymore. Either way, she needed that attention or that validation from someone from somewhere. Sometimes she'd be reaching out on Instagram to randoms on Instagram Live asking for a shout out or asking for them to say a happy birthday. And I truly think this obsession or this need for attention grew and grew into what became her behavior later on with Dylan Sperry. And a large part of what's so concerning about the recent situation is that while we look back on her past, we can see that Timber will go to very extreme lengths in order to get that attention that she desires so badly. With some of those lengths and efforts she'll go to seek attention from one of her previous victims, a boy named Cody, would most likely lead her to get very, very familiar with the local law enforcement. Pretty evident here with her arrest records, from simple assault to interference with official acts and even third-degree harassment. But this Cody character, an earlier victim of Timber's, very similar to the situation going on with Dylan, would come forward with these Discord messages saying, "I'm doing fine. I was hoping to put never having to deal with this again. However, it's come to this and for me to tell my story again. So basically, I first met her after an old buddy of mine came home from the military, and me and Taz went to see him / hang out at his home. And she was there with my military friend's brother or cousin, not too sure, but they were related in some way. And so those two were together in their room the whole time. Me, Taz, were chilling in the other room with the military buddy. I was playing Far Cry while Taz was making music. I forget what my military friend was doing, but all I know is Timber kept coming out to talk with me and Taz, and she immediately was telling us, me specifically, don't tell anyone I was here. I really ignored her as much as I could and was just gaming, and she just sat near me and watched me play, and I paid absolutely no mind to it. Fast forwarding a week or two, I think I was trying to have the boys come over to swim at my pool, which was Taz and JD. I strictly told them no females. So me and Taz meet up, and we were waiting for JD, and here JD comes walking through my driveway with Timber and tail, and I immediately told him, bro, I said no girls. And he basically was like, I know, but she wanted to come anyway. I didn't think it would be an issue. So I told him it's fine, I wasn't going to kick her out because I didn't want to be a dick. Seemed like they were dating at the time, and I later found out they were. So we're all chilling in the pool, and she's sitting outside of it staring at me. She would try on multiple occasions to engage in conversation with me, and I ignored her. And over time, I started to be an asshole to her because she wouldn't stop trying to get my attention. At some point, I tell JD he needs to make her leave. He's trying to reason with me, but I tell him she's gotta go, she's giving me weird vibes, and she kept acting like we knew each other, like we were best friends that always known each other. It was weirding me out. A few days later, I was hanging out with my buddy Taz, and I started talking to this boy on my phone named Luke, and long story short, we became lovers, and over the course of our relationship, Timber is non-stop posting about me, talking about me, making up stories, and I ended up seeing a photo of her in my room with my do-rag on her head. It was at this point I figured out she's been going to my house when I'm not there. So already in the past here, we see she's gone as far as breaking and entering into the home, or at the very least sneaking into the home of someone that she's obsessed with, someone that absolutely no relationship, not even a friendship truly was formed. And again, even if this guy is embellishing the truth a little bit, it's not entirely out of the question given all of her charges and arrests that we looked at earlier. However, these claims of harassment do line up with things posted on Timber's own Facebook at the time. In fact, we have her here completely misunderstanding this post made by Luke, the true significant other, at least at the time, of the boy that Timber's absolutely obsessed with at this point, saying Luke the Fruit ate this up. Despite this being a kind of silly way of going about responding to someone harassing your significant other, I don't think she really understands that Luke means exactly what he's saying in this diss.
Lil Luke, the motherfucking fruit, might make your man too, bitch. All that, you already know what the fuck going on. You know who this is, bitch. Don't ever fucking play with me, you big jelly bro looking bitch. Bitch, you look like shit and you look like you got rabies. I'ma beat your ass and make you look like you got scabies. Bitch said we used to be cool. But I ain't never kick it with a hoe smell like pool. Bitch, you look like you fried and your hair need dyed. Said my man wanted you where you really vibe. A bitch could never be me, and that's on my fucking soul. Bitch, your big ass shape like a fucking mason bowl. Smell like fish and it's fucking terrible. My Bucci this better than you, yo ass an animal. Bitches stay mad cause I am uncomparable. I'm on your ass is trash, that face is terrible, bitch. Don't ever fucking play with me, you nasty ass bitch. You're big as
Now, given that wonderful diss, I'm pretty inclined with everything she was posting around that time on her Facebook to believe that this Cody person is telling the whole truth with this story. I mean, you've got to have some pretty negative feelings about someone to make a minute-long diss. But truly, I feel for Luke and Cody around this time, the targeted harassment they had to go through at such a young age, with Timber constantly talking about Cody on the internet, making up stories about him, all the stuff that we're seeing now, yet again, history's repeating itself. But he continues on with, it was at this point I figured out she's been going to my house when I'm not there, and my mom has sleep apnea, so she was out cold in her room while this transpired. Once I figured this out, I made a police report and everything, spoke with an officer who's arrested her previously and knows of her, but he ended up saying he can't do anything unless she's there, pretty much, but I made my claim. Anyways, because I was pissed off, once I did that, a few days go by, and I'm with my boyfriend at his house, and my mother tells me Timber's here in the back porch. We rush there immediately and find her there, and already I'm yelling at her, cussing, getting aggressive with my words, trying to make her leave, and she wouldn't go. My mother calls the police, and while they're on their way, I'm inside the house talking with Luke while my mom is out there one-on-one, being kinder than I was, telling her she needs help and she needs to leave me alone and stop coming here, stalking me and posting misinformation about me. She wasn't even flinching. She was so in her world and caught off guard that I was with a boy. Again, this is kind of highlighting the fact that she really did not know this guy. I didn't know him well enough to realize that he may have been gay or at the very least bi. Which I feel like is something that you would know if you were even friends with someone, let alone lovers at this point, like I'm sure Timber thought she was with Cody. But Cody goes, then me and Luke sat down and told her what we've been wanting to get off our chest for a minute about the BS she's been causing us. She didn't take our relationship seriously and thought it was all some prank. Eventually, the police came, arrested her, and I didn't see her again until passing by in a car, and she was walking on the sidewalk with a cart from a store like she was homeless. Wow, so absolutely alarming stuff. So from this story, we gather that she's fully capable of breaking and entering into someone's home. Very early on, couldn't comprehend the concept of someone saying no or someone rejecting her. Although it seems here there was never even really any rejecting to be had because Timber just all of a sudden thought it up into existence that the two of them were together. But Cody was evidently pretty serious when talking about her not taking him and Luke's relationship very seriously, because the day after the diss was posted and the same day she reposted it, Timber would go on later that day stating, I miss the love of my life. Clearly talking about Cody, considering that's all she was really posting about at that time regarding a lover. And that really highlights just how deeply set into her delusions that she gets regarding these obsessions. Truly nothing can get in the way of her believing the person that she's hyper-focused on is actually in love with her and that they're dating. Now that we've truly established her criminal history and the disgusting lengths she'll go to try to harass and gain the attention of the person that she's obsessed with, I think we can finally get into the video that started it all, the video that everyone's begun talking about, and that's her telling the world about her love story between her and Dylan Sperry.
Today is going to be a fun video because I'm going to actually tell you guys why I like the guy that I like. So, you guys, it's crazy as life. So, about 2 years ago now, I was in jail and I had a very spiritual awakening. I had a vision. And while I was in jail, I had a vision of this guy that was in a band, and like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I can still kind of see the vision, by the way, and like, it's so heartwarming. But like, my heart is literally beating so freaking fast right now. But like, I was in jail and I had the vision of the guy, and I seen that he had like a infant child, like a toddler-sized child.
So this would be one of the many times she started mentioning Dylan Sperry's daughter, which is one of the most concerning bits about this whole obsession, at least for me, considering the lines she so easily crossed the last time she was obsessed with someone like this. But after we get through this heartwarming story of her prophecy coming true, her finding the man of her dreams, you'll be flabbergasted with just how much of this story that she's embellishing here when Dylan finally clears the air.
From there, I had another spiritual vision of him, like, in that same night. Mind you, this was like 2 years ago, by the way. This is way before I ever met this guy. And, I don't know how to, like, explain visions. I just only really know how to see them. So, I was in jail, and I seen this vision basically pop up like a ring. Okay, a diamond ring. And I'm trying to figure out how to open this at the same time as I'm talking. Well, anyways, I seen like a diamond ring. And I was like, okay, so do I get married to this guy? And my spiritual guidance said yes, that I marry this guy. And I was like, okay, so basically, fast forward last year of 2025 of September, it was September 2nd, the day before I met the guy that I like. And the lady goes, by the way, the guy that you like now will not be the guy that you will be marrying. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I was like, I'm already like contemplating, like, do I really want to marry this guy? Like, the guy from before that I was liking, like 10 months ago, almost over a year ago now. And I was already contemplating. I was like, do I really want to be with this guy? Like, my spiritual guidance told me in jail that I wouldn't be marrying him, you know? And I was like, I really wanted to go with my heart, but my heart left that guy. But my mind was there. And I was like, I just want to like stick to like what I felt like I made a promise for. You know what I mean? So it only kind of felt right for me to like still kind of like him. And then she was like, I can tell you that his first name starts with the letter D, but I can't tell you his last name, can't tell you anything else about him. And she was like also making it known that I was like basically going to meet this guy right away, like as soon as I moved. And I was like, okay. So the first day that I move, I literally meet him. I literally meet the guy. And like, he's like there. He's like just there. And I'm like, my heart just like leaps out of my chest. And I'm like walking like this, and I'm like pacing, and I'm like stuttering over my words, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and he takes me to Hy-Vee. We do grocery shopping. It's just me and him, like, one-on-one. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god. Like, I actually think that this is the guy. Like, I actually really think that this is the guy. Like, my heart just felt like so loved. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it, like, the connection was just there. The connection was just, like, so immediately. And it was just, like, such a heart-touching moment for me, because I haven't been in love in like 7 fucking years. And like, it's been like a really hard journey for me to like find someone new. So I was like, I really think that this is the guy. And like, when I tell you this, like, I mean this from like deep down the bottom of my literal absolute heart. Is like, he is literally my full on type. Like, he's just so fine. And he makes me feel so dizzy when I think about him, like, honestly.
It's just so interesting to see someone get so incredibly emotional when talking about this guy that, from the looks of it, maybe they have a little bit of a crush on, but it doesn't really sound like any sort of relationship has ever really formed here. But then she starts talking about how she's never felt so incredibly loved before. She goes on a side tangent on whether or not she's actually going to marry this man, which we're taking a little too many steps forward, I feel like. And it looks like there's absolutely no end in sight for this obsession, because she's truly convinced herself that this prophecy of her marrying this guy and being with him, interpreting small things like being taken to the grocery store as this huge, deeply meaningful act of love. I mean, every new thing you hear about this obsession, it just seems worse and worse, and I believe Dylan's getting a little fearful about what she might do.
Hello, I'm Dylan. I'm alive. I'm okay. Thank you for all of your concern and your support during this. And thank you to everyone who reached out to make sure that I was okay and that I wasn't in any danger. Apologize if I didn't answer your message. I've been very overwhelmed over the past 48 hours trying to manage this situation. I have to be very careful about what I say to protect myself legally. I was a life skill specialist or a direct support professional for a company working with people with special needs. And this person was a client to this company. This person, I believe, overheard a conversation I was having with one of her roommates, discussing rock and roll music and talking about my band, and found my band, and through that links to my Facebook and my social media accounts, and kind of ran with it. I'm not going to elaborate any further on this situation regarding this person. I don't want to feed it. I think feeding it will only cause it to continue. This person has a pattern of posting extreme things on the internet for attention. So please do not harass or bully this person. If you can, avoid contact with this person. And on a personal note, if you see anything regarding my daughter, if you see anything deemed as a threat, I would greatly appreciate it if you would record that video or save it or send it to my band's page, so that way we can save it and I can continue building a file so that I may protect myself. I won't elaborate on what I'm doing legally to protect myself. I won't elaborate on the company that I worked for, and I won't elaborate on this person, what's going on with them, their diagnosis, anything. I really appreciate everyone's concern. I am safe. My family is safe. I'm not recording this from my home, and she does not know where my family lives. She only knows what she has access to on the internet, and my Facebook page I use for slight personal use and mainly advertising my music if I can. So I am safe. My family is safe. Thank you for your concern.
Wow, so if it wasn't evident from her postings when she was younger, or that first rant I showed you guys about Dylan, but Timber has some mental issues, and in the process of bettering herself and learning to work past some of her own issues, she ended up falling in love with one of the caretakers or professionals that were supposed to be there to obviously help her. And that's all Dylan seems to be in this case, just some good guy who he was in a profession where he just wanted to help some people who maybe needed a little more help than others. But all it took was Timber overhearing one conversation. She got a hold of all of his socials, and then it's been downhill from there. And he makes a statement, too, that should be blatantly obvious to anyone watching, but definitely don't go out of your way to harass this person or get into contact with them, because a lot of the thrill, really, that she's gotten out of this has been people going and interacting with her page, either egging her on or calling out how delusional she is. It doesn't matter. Any attention is good attention as long as it's over there interacting with her specifically. And pretty evidently earlier on in this video, she's been like that ever since she was a kid. Unfortunately, though, for Dylan, this one video would be enough to feed into her delusion no matter what. She found some backwards logic that one thing hidden within this video was actually for her, and to let her know that he does in fact love her, and that I guess he's playing hard to get or something. I don't know. Well, I will have to watch this.
Anyways, so I just felt the need to say something. Is the fact that that flower in Dylan's video is literally for me. So I don't really care about what none of you fucking hoes on TikTok have to say. Like, 90,000 people love him for me, and I love him for me. Honestly, actually, over 1.2 million people love Dylan for me. So I personally don't care what you guys have to say about me or my man. But that flower, though, I literally, just had chills, run through my body. And, I almost just started crying. You guys can see, the tears in my eyes right now. I really freaking miss him, guys. I really do. And I love you so much. Jesus, just love me, please. I love him. Honestly, I'm literally about to take this photo and start photoshopping it. I'm about to start photoshopping us. My AI husband, you guys. A shout out to my AI husband. We are married, and I don't care what anyone has to say. I can't take myself serious, because I'm really thinking whole time, what if he really does put me in jail though? I know it would only be for a day. He would put me in jail just to bail me out, Bookie. Stop playing. Stop playing. Honestly, I cannot wait to eat his fucking boogers. I don't know what it is. I just keep having visions of me putting my tongue up his nose, okay. And I also keep having spiritual visions of us getting married on June 7th of 2026. AKA that would be 30 days. And I also keep having spiritual visions that he pays for my open C-section for my deceased baby. Our child. He or she is our child. I can't remember the gender, but when my child's heartbeat was active and alive, I knew the gender, but I can't remember if it was a boy or a girl because I was pregnant with twins with this one. And one was a boy and one was a girl, I believe. And also there was one more thing. And I also keep getting so many spiritual downloads of him basically telling me, I have so much music for you. Yeah. Of him literally telling me that he has made so much freaking music about me. So I'm just like, I'm really nervous. Like, I really love this guy, guys. He's so nice to me, and like, he just respects me, and like, we've just been friends for a long time since we've been children. And I have been trying to find this guy. Like, I know I sound like a fucking stalker. I know I do. But like, I have been trying to find this guy for years, and I just got him in my life, and like, after I...
Fellas, truly, I don't think we watched the same video by Dylan Sperry. There's no way that she parsed from the video that he put out that contradicted basically every single thing she said to the internet about this man, hinted at possible legal action being planned, expressing his fears for his own daughter's safety, urging others to record and send over anything involving his daughter that she talks about. How could a single flower hanging in the background lead her to believe it was a secret little message for her? In fact, it brought her to tears thinking about how much he respects her and how long they've been friends for. Then she starts talking about these spiritual downloads, about how his music is actually being made for her. And then a little hope shines through this cloud of darkness, where she says for a moment, and I quote, "I know I sound like a stalker." So somewhere deep down, I think she knows everything that she's doing is wrong. It's not okay. I don't think I could argue that she doesn't believe that there's a relationship between her and Dylan, but I feel like there has to be a vague understanding that what she's doing right now isn't okay, isn't normal. But like, obviously she was extremely delusional before Dylan put out his video, but I seriously don't understand how you could be flat out told exactly how it is and then pivot and turn the other direction and take it as a sign as, oh, this guy's actually madly in love with me. How did I not see this before? I mean, one of the more interesting bits about all this is how she bounces back and forth between them already having been dating, kind of realizing that she's obsessed with him and he hasn't really reciprocated anything, and then going back to thinking, oh, they're meant to be together, there's a chance they might even get married in the next 30 days or so, she said. I don't know, Grubbas. All I do know is that all we can do right now is hope that her obsession fizzles out. Maybe right now she's getting the help that she needs, because she's been radio silent for about 10 days now, I believe. And as this Timber Lee story unfolds, I'll keep my Grubbas informed. Anyway, I appreciate anyone who made it all the way to the end of today's video. I know a lot of her clips can kind of drag out, but I feel like you need to see a whole lot of her random gibberish in between the important stuff to kind of get a feel for her state that she's in. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, leave your opinions down in the comments, and maybe even hype the video up too if you're feeling out for it. And then, if I was just that awesome today, don't forget to subscribe. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Later, Grubbas.